Hey, this is Roxy. We're here in the hardDrive online studios, and I'm really happy to be with my friends Sick Puppies. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Good,
Hello.
good.
Hello.
Good to be here.
Well, you just did a couple of acoustic tunes for us. One, by the way, which happens to be your brand new single, and I think it was the very first time you've done it in acoustic.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Had to break it in sometime. Glad it was here, Had to figure it out. So, yeah, about the first time we did it.
I'm really excited for this song. I think, it's a little different, I think, but it's also, I don't know, that the old music director ears in me is telling me that this song is going to be really huge for you guys. Let's talk about where and how this song started.
Sure. We were just writing for the album, and we were sort of like on a break, and we thought, let's check out the Sick Puppies War Crew Facebook, and we were like, let's see what they're talking about. And we just came across this post that was really quite, I don't know, it was quite touching to us, because we were like, wow, they're really like pouring their hearts and souls into this post. And it was just some, stuff like that people felt frozen in time. They kind of felt helpless, that kind of thing. And we were like, that's actually a really great thing to write about. And during that same time, we were just sort of jamming, and Brian and I just happened to play the exact same, like we just started on a progression at the exact same time, and literally did like the verse, pre-chorus, and chorus, I think, just all in succession. And we were like, we stopped and we were like, that's pretty much the song. And then we kind of just worked on it from there.
Lyrically, what's going on in this track?
Well, like she talked about, it's looking at what the World Crew was talking about, that really spawned the idea, but obviously it's something that, we've all felt in our lives that we feel also other people can relate to, which is the beauty of music. And it's something that, just like she said, when it's just about being afraid to try new things, basically. Maybe you have some kind of a dream, whether it's big or small, and you've gone your whole life going a certain way, and you're like, I want to do this with my life, but I don't know how to start. Where do I begin with this? How do I get down this path? And you just get stuck in your ways, and you just kind of go your whole life. And then it becomes the point of, well, it's too far gone now. I should have started. But it's really just there is hope in the song that it's one of those, there's never too late to try what you enjoy, your dream, your passion. So.
This has been a great year. I mean, we enjoyed so much having you guys on our hardDrive live tour. And I was just curious, what was the very first show, the very first Sick Puppies show, which I'm trying to remember where it was. Was it Alaska? Was that?
Yeah.
Technically first was Alaska.
Anchorage, Alaska. Yeah.
So I want to talk about what was it like for the three of you? Here you're basically introducing a new band.
Yeah. We were terrified. Let's face it.
The butterflies were there.
Yeah, definitely they were there. But we, there was, leading up to that, we were in a room, we locked ourselves in a room probably this big for 3 months straight and just played the songs over and over. So I think
literally locked ourselves in a room for months. And so, we knew we had to, try to be the best we could. And I think, we started in Alaska just because it's one of those places that for the band previously, over the years in the history, we've gone there a lot. It was one of the first places we ever played in America, and it's very random. Everyone's always like, oh, that's kind of a strange place to start out. But they've always been loyal to us, always come out to, supported the band from the beginning. And we thought it was just like a good place to start, I guess, and with Brian and the new songs and the new album. So, yeah, it was great.
I think fans up there, they're so appreciative when bands do go out of their way. It's a big deal to schlep everything, up there. You have to boat it up, or I don't know, I guess fly it in.
We fly in, and then but they like you said, they it's bands go there, but it is a little bit out of the way. But we love it there. It's cold.
They love
sometimes,
it. They eat it up just when the bands do come down.
I don't know. Brian, how did you feel before that show?
Well, for a show, you're a little nervous because you got a lot to prove to everyone, and it's finally everything that we had practiced and poured into it is finally like, here's that moment where we have to shine or burn out, as it were, and it doesn't really help when, although I did love it about it in a way, is that the way they have that show there is the people are literally, I mean, like I can just touch the dude.
It was basically like a bar show.
So when they're there, they're just looking right at you. It's like judging you. It's the first time you've done that. Not really though, but everyone just loved it, just went crazy. And of course, whenever you start getting into it and they feel that, you feel it as well. And then you just go from there. And that definitely broke it in for us.
What was your pre-show ritual, I suppose? You know, again, you said you had little butterflies, a little nervous before you getting out there. So is there something that you do to try to, you know, cool it off?
I guess as, other singers do, you're just kind of doing a warm-up. Just everyone's got their own little routine and, doing little funny sounds as you do. And I remember kind of just pacing a lot. I don't normally do that, but I found myself up in the upstairs waiting room just pacing around a lot. I don't know. Just kind of like, okay, because we've never done this. We've never done a show. It's the first time that we're going to do this. What is it like? I have no idea yet. But you got to just get out there.
But after that one, it was one of those, like you just got to get through the first one, and then it's like, okay, we did it.
Okay,
and
there
then
it
after
is.
that, it was like, all right. And then we did the hard drive live tour and started that, and
Which was awesome, by the way.
It was a great tour. We couldn't have asked for a
Love you
better
guys.
first tour. We were a little intimidated because we were coming back on a headline tour, but playing a lot of songs and coming out.
Yeah,
swinging.
more shows we got into it though. It just
Yeah, it was great.
Finally,
It was
just
awesome.
it just fell into that groove of things, and
Yeah, I think that was probably better that we kind of started with a headline, because then because you're not going to play more than an hour and a half, and it was like if we start off like that, that's what we're already like there, so it just goes.
yeah.
We're prepared, I guess, for a shorter set or whatever.
How soon did it take for you to start working the new songs? And I mean, normally you go out, the album's not out yet, and so you normally just play whatever the single, is off that. When did you start sprinkling other tracks into the set?
We thought about it before we did that Alaska show. Actually, we were kind of like sprinkling them in at the time, just because we knew that time would come, and there's only a certain amount of time you have to rehearse, so you sort of get it ready then. And I don't know, we already had like a couple in our pocket, I would say, and now we're sort of incorporating more and more as the albums, because back then the album hadn't come out yet. But yeah, so now we're sort of putting in a few more.
What's the song that's been getting the most reaction out of the new stuff?
It's a good question. It's a couple.
Yeah, probably. I guess Black and Blue or Stick to Your Guns. I mean, Stick to Your Guns was a single, so you would actually see people knowing the lyrics to that, which was awesome to hear that. We really were only doing 3 new ones at the time because, like she said, we were, it's kind of to help transition people into the new stuff, not overwhelm them. So we were doing 3 songs, Black and Blue and, yeah, Stick to Your Guns. Black and Blue is just such a very energetic song that once we started doing that one, people would just, mosh pits would ensue, and we
It's a
would
mosh
just,
song.
yeah, everyone was
We've
jumping
had
up and
few
down.
complaints too from
Yeah. Somebody did
much.
actually get upset that we started a mosh pit. So
Yeah,
I mean,
when
why you
it's-
had a rock show, brother? I don't know.
All right.
But no, that
Um,
yeah, those 2 went over really well.
I love it. The speaking of the hard drive live tour, we appreciated you guys doing that, and my favorite moment really was when that YouTube video hit of everyone pranking you on the last night of the tour. So here you are doing your last song, and then this whole gang of people with toilet paper show up, and
Yeah.
they're wrapping all your stuff in whatever.
It was, man, because we always do like pranks or whatever, and we get pranked on a lot, and we learned from the best. Shinedown is the best at pranking, and just love those guys. But they are the kings of pranking. So we learned from the best, and we actually didn't have enough time to like plan it, and we didn't really
Shame
do
on
anything.
us.
It just came around, and we were like, oh man, it's the last show. We want to do something, but it was just we didn't have time. We had stuff a lot to do like during the day, and then like the day before, so we didn't like think to do anything. But it was fun because during our set they came out and did the whole toilet paper thing, and they were wearing like clown masks.
red
and stuff.
noses, yeah, red noses and toilet paper.
So yeah, during your going
Lots
down,
of
it was
it.
just
Chaos.
like
It was chaos.
It was one big toilet paper
Fest.
TP fest. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
So you're saying Shinedown is a good pranker. What have they done to you guys?
Ooh.
Oh gosh,
Oh,
what
man,
haven't they done?
Classic.
Well, Stonehenge first of all, like for
Yeah.
the Spinal Tap, lovers out there, Stonehenge, they literally, and the funniest part about, because everyone knows the concept of Spinal Tap, right? So they decided to do a 2-scale Stonehenge, like they got it made and everything, like it looked just so, and they were going to lower it during our last song, actually.
Yeah,
and
they
we were
actually
going
rigged
down.
it so it was up.
They rigged it, and so they had the kids as the elves, everything come out dancing. We were like, what?
It was a full
What's going on?
reenactment.
And then when they tried to lower the Stonehenge, it got stuck. And then it fell. And it was like a Spinal Tap moment within a Spinal Tap moment. It was pretty epic.
Yeah. for most bands that tour, you know, Spinal Tap is kind of one of those movies that's really like hits home. It hits home like a little too much sometimes. Because like I always say, there's always like a Spinal Tap moment that happens every day on tour, you know.
It's true.
And so they, you know, and they, you know, obviously they've been touring for so long, so it was just funny that they used that as the prank or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, they did more stuff too. They
Yeah,
wrapped
they
our
did.
whole bus in gaff tape,
Yeah.
so we couldn't even get in.
Yeah.
God, what else? Like just
It's a lot of tape.
yeah. I
Our
think
bus driver wasn't very happy.
the first
about
time
that,
we ever got pranked good, that was from the Evanescence tour way back in the day. That was our very first like kind of big tour.
Yeah, yeah.
And all their crew guys. That was the first time where I like, you know, we were kind of green at the time, and the one thing like they do a lot is like for the drummer, like they take away drums or whatever, put baby powder in the hi-hat. So I had all that done to me. It was pretty fun. It was funny.
So I guess that prepared you for the music video for Stick to Your Guns,
yes.
because there's all this
Well, true.
powder
Yeah.
everywhere. Let's talk about that experience. First of all, whose idea was it to do a video like that? It's pretty cool, by the way.
That was definitely Nathan Cox, the
Director.
director. Yeah, he had always wanted to mess with blacklight and blacklight paint. That was just something that he's like, I want to do a video,
Yeah.
you know, like this, and just explore that world, and never really done it. So it was just
At first we
just
were
see
like,
what
is that
happens,
gonna
yeah.
work? Because
Yeah.
he had never done it,
Mhm.
and we were like a bit
Yeah.
skeptical. But I think as we were shooting it and right when we got done with it, we were like, that's gonna be cool. I think so.
yeah. When you start to see some of the clips as you're doing it, you step back, watch, you're like, okay, that's awesome. You know, it's really neat. So yeah, that was definitely his idea to do the two different worlds, kind of the light world, the dark world. You know, us in our element up top, just. Well, I guess no one would know it's necessarily
Yeah,
up
you
top,
wouldn't
but
really
it was
know
in
it.
the same building
Right.
where we played up there, and then went down in the basement to the dark scene. But you know, the first part was just to be kind of just show the band as we are, rocking out, just in our own element, and then just taking a twist. He just wanted to completely turn it upside down and make us eat paint.
Make us eat paint.
Which was interesting.
It's fun.
Weren't they also throwing that kind of powdery stuff around? I thought
Yeah, we just paint like liquid-based paint, and we were like, or water-based paint or whatever.
Tastes horrible, by
yeah.
the way.
Was it
tastes
with
like chalk?
who did it?
and
Was it you that the first time where they put it? He was like
squirted
put it in
yeah.
our mouths or whatever. It was like
Just,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
and
it's-
spat it out.
yeah,
Yeah, it's non-toxic though. You could
Yeah.
eat it, but it's awful.
yeah. It was a great scene with Emma with it dripping out. It was great.
It's gag-worthy.
Note to self: next video, no paint.
Do not
Hopefully,
eat
yeah.
the paint.
Do not
Yeah,
paint
it was fun. It didn't
It
taste
was
the best,
fun.
but
It was awesome.
I think the coolest thing was when we all were physically painted, and it's so weird because when you don't have a black light on you, it's really it's hideous anyway, even on the film, but it just looks just awful. And then you put this black light on there and you're just glowing. It's really cool. I mean, that's obviously how it works, but it was very, very cool to see that come alive in the video.
I found a quote, I guess it was from a press release from a while back, but you were talking about the album. This whole album has been about not letting anything stand in the way of what you want. And as a band, we persevered and made it through to the other side. All the raw emotions that we felt during the process led us to name this album Fury. We hope you love it as much as we do. So let's talk about the trials and tribulations, if you will. But I don't think there were many tribulations. I just think it was, a new working environment for at least the two of you, and you're the new piece of the puzzle.
Sure.
It was, yeah, there were trials and tribulations. It's like with any change, like there's going to be ups and downs within us and also other people, and they'd fallen in love with the band a certain way, so it was very, like for them, I'm sure it was just difficult to embrace something new, and a lot of other bands have done it, and it's always caused, just confusion and frustration and doubt and all that kind of stuff, and we weren't immune to that. We definitely felt that. So there was working through that, and it was sort of like knowing that, because we had kept Bryan like sort of quiet for so long, it was hard to keep it in, because you get all these people, all these naysayers and all this negativity, and you're like, no, but wait until you actually hear it first before you judge it kind of thing. And I think we knew we had something great going on and we just had to keep it quiet. That was one of the hardest things. And then also, you know, finally finding the sound that would do justice to Sick Puppies, because that wasn't the other question. It's like, is this going to even sound anything like the band anymore? And we made a big conscious effort to make sure it did. So yeah, there was a lot of that going on behind the scenes.
So before you got Bryan's package, you know, his tape and video, I guess you submitted, how many other singers had you been looking at?
Bryan was one of the first, to be honest. There are others, but you know, they were so far off from the mark. It was like, well, it's obvious that.
Yeah, we did a couple like audition things in a room with couple people, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. Really, wasn't happening.
Yeah, you'd be surprised who the people that actually. I mean, I don't know.
There were just a lot of you know, people that didn't quite, you know, they were good in their own right, but they just didn't fit the band. And Bryan was one of the first, and it was like, wow, this came pretty quick. And we you know, we tried some other people out just to do that, but you know, Bryan was definitely the one that ticked all the boxes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You know, and I think you get a good sense, you know, even just meeting a person for the first time, I think you get a good sense of, you know, hey, I get a vibe from this person, you know, I think this is going to work out, you know. Mm-hmm. So how many drinks and how many dinners did it take?
The question is, how many burgers did it take?
So many drinks, drinks.
Yeah, we met at our favorite Stout Burger in L.A., in Hollywood. Yeah. And,
fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, happy hour, half off.
That's the only reason we went there.
Yeah, that was the big. We always say, you know, because what we went through a lot of stuff. You know, wasn't necessarily about the music and stuff. And I don't know. I guess I always look at the whole situation like you know, being in a band with someone is like, you know, like you always hear it's like a marriage or whatever. But I think the most important thing is the chemistry you have with someone when you meet them and the getting along and that whole process. It's almost, for us, it was almost more important than anything else, really, you know? Because it won't work if it's not gonna, I mean, you know, we found out the hard way, basically, and yeah, that was the main thing. And we always wanted to keep it a 3-piece, so we knew we had to find a great guitarist and singer, so we kind of like had to, the time that was a big feat, you know. Obviously we found Bryan is good, but you know, there was a lot of people that were like, oh, I want to play guitar, I'll just play guitar, I'll just sing. It's like, no, we've got to find one guy, you know. It's Sick Puppies, it's 3-piece band, so.
Well, you know, there's that chemistry, but then there's also the interaction when you're touring together and you're sharing a bus. And, you know, it was funny, Lou had done an interview with Ben Burnley, and he was talking about, you know, I don't want that guy that's going to come onto the bus and, you know, have his name on the jar of peanut butter. He says, I can't have that. You know?
Yeah, well, Ben has his own bus, too, but
right, well,
that's why he has.
Well, yeah, okay. So, yeah. But
when you're on that level, you can, you know, be a little more. No, but he's great. We love Ben's great. His band is awesome. I've known Keith for so many years, and he's a great guy. His band's great, and yeah, great band. We want to tour with them, so Ben, if we're watching that.
But I mean, were there any things that maybe he was doing that were like, don't do that? You know, I mean,
we're not going to talk about it.
Oh man!
Oh my gosh, so many.
Still so many.
God, what is there?
No, Bryan's a very clean fellow, I gotta say. Very like it was really pleasant, and that's very important on a bus. Little things like that become the big things. Just like
that was actually the first thing she asked when we met. Are you a clean person? It didn't really matter about anything else. So
she puts up with me already, so can't put up with two of those.
Enough, I guess.
Yeah. I love it. Paul had mentioned to me that you guys played an acoustic set at the E3 this year. What was that like?
Yeah, it was cool.
It was overwhelming with just.
Jeez, yeah, that place is a madhouse. Yeah. You know, it's just seeing all the money that these companies put into their displays.
Yeah, it's like
is unreal.
$1 billion.
You know, I mean, obviously, it's the biggest.
We're not huge gamers though, so. We were there. It was cool to see everything, but I don't know. Are you?
Nintendo,
I'm not at all.
Super Nintendo.
Back in the day,
I
yeah.
got into it actually.
Most bands do.
Most
bands are gamers, like on the bus, you play whatever. But
We kind of got into trouble too because we we put up posters everywhere about our set, and we were like, we don't see any other posters around.
took 'em down.
This seems a bit weird. And then we went back to the guy that was like the hosting the area, and I was like, just checking, but we're putting posters up. Is that cool? And he's like, oh no, don't put up any more. And then the woman came back with all the posters, and she's like, you can't put these up.
But it was fun. It was just to see to play in a whole different world, I guess, which is really cool because a lot of these games have music on it, and bands get their songs on things, which is really cool to see that. But it's just a whole other world. That's the best I can say.
It's whole, like, music is one whole thing, and gaming is a whole other thing. It's cool though. I mean, I kind of
it was
liked
cool.
it.
Speaking of Ben, he's a huge gamer. He loves
Ben Burnley.
Yeah,
he is. I've heard.
Well, they got their song in the Halo, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, no big deal.
I remember Ben one time saying that he made his girlfriend, well, now his wife, stand in line and wait for Halo one time.
Oh, wow.
Because he was working, whatever, and he made her go and do that. So obviously no one's playing Pokemon Go.
No.
No mo pogo.
No.
Good, as you shouldn't.
I coined that, by the way.
Brian coined no mo
Hashtag
pogo.
that.
Yeah, we're not
First.
We're not pogo first.
Yeah, that's good. No, we have not done it yet, to answer.
No.
And we will never do it.
I don't get it.
His wife will divorce him if he does it. She's actually said
she
that.
said that. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to do it right now.
I was on the subway this morning. There was a woman standing next to me, and she's doing it on her phone. And I'm like, what? Really? Yeah. Are they on the subway? I mean, I don't know.
We have nothing against it. If you want to do it, we see like every morning in Starbucks, we see people like running in, like doing it. Like, okay, well.
All right. To each his own, they say.
We don't really have anything against it. We don't do it.
Yeah.
Multiple people in the city I saw just yesterday almost get run over.
Really?
Like,
I'm sure people at this point there's been injuries.
Just crossing the street and
deaths maybe.
And the horns and it's dangerous.
Don't do it, kids.
I think Emma, do you secretly do it?
Don't do it.
I don't know.
So now your headline run starts August 19th, and who are you taking out with you?
That's just a one-off show, actually. It starts September or like mid-September. We're just doing one-off in Omaha, and
is that right? That's right, September 17th. Yeah, that's when it
September
begins.
17th.
Headline bit starts for a couple weeks by ourselves. Well, Through Fire is playing, and One Less Reason we're going on the road with. Gonna do that for a couple weeks, headlining, and then we pick up with Skillet and Devour the Day, do another few weeks with them, and that is gonna be awesome because those guys are incredible musicians and the coolest people. So
we had a chance to meet them and hang out a bit on the last two festivals we did, and great band, great people. More girls in the band, so we have like and
that was pleasant.
We're trying to. Okay, so we got to get this on record. Because this could be huge.
Could be.
So, and Lizzie from Hailstorm actually suggested this years ago. Emma on bass. Is it Corey?
Yep,
Corey.
guitar.
Corey.
And Jen.
Guitar. And Jen on drums. And Lizzie fronting. It's a perfect supergroup, girl band.
That would actually be.
Yeah, there's been some.
Break that down for a second.
Break that down.
Really think about that.
Probably
That'd
the
be
best
huge.
female musicians, rock musicians in the world, playing in one band.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there, Lizzie, if you're watching.
If you're watching.
I might have to email her as soon as we, as soon as you guys.
I think
leave.
she would do it.
Yeah.
She's the one that suggested it.
Yeah,
Remember
there's been a
She
few
did.
tweets
She
too,
did.
and that's why because
Okay,
everyone's
yeah.
like copied, like we're all copied on that tweet. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea, and then she brought it up a couple of
Just
years ago.
one song,
That would be.
like
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah.
shows. I mean, you guys could be a
Yeah, it'd
you
be
could be a
fun.
stadium band overnight. Who knows?
All right, so let's figure this out. Are they at Rock Allegiance? Hailstorm?
Ooh,
I don't know if we're the same day.
Yeah, hook it up, Roxy, hook it up.
Or Shiprock? Do you guys doing Shiprock?
No. I don't think.
No, not this. We want to do
All
Shiprock.
right, well, we'll
Hopefully
figure
next
it
year.
out. I will be. I will.
Well, we need to. Yeah, we need to
I will
coordinate.
orchestrate this.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're probably you're the best person to probably do that. So.
Make it happen.
So after this fall run, what's on the board?
More touring during
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, like, where do I begin? We'll be doing well at radio. Hopefully, we'll see. We're hoping for that. So hopefully that'll be going strong and just supporting the album. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing because when you put the band together and when everything took a while, obviously, to meet each other, play, practice, write, learn how to write, find the songs, record the sons, put that together. That took the better part of a year and a half just to do that. And it seems like it's been a while for us, but to everyone else, really, I mean, the album just came out just a couple months ago. So it's definitely still fresh. So really, it's all about just pushing the album and just playing as many places for as many people as we can. So we're just gonna be going.
I want everyone to get out and see Sick Puppies this year, and their album Fury is wonderful, and you need to own it. And thank you guys so much for coming by.
Oh, thank you
Thanks
for
for
having
having
us.
us.
Thank you.
Roxy.
Appreciate it.
No, you couldn't find your peace within the bitterness that burns.